Hello again, everyone. We're doing the second episode of Ask the Drummer for today, because, like what I said earlier, I really did miss chatting to drummers uh, last week, and like I think the other week as well. So he's available, our next guest. So I thought we might as well have it, even though it's one after the other. And I hope you're all back for the episode 2. Right, so it's from Bootle earlier today to this time Aberdeen. I have seen him and his band a few times now, and I'm telling you, they're absolutely amazing. And I'm really grateful that he said yes to Ask the Drummer. So, my dear friends, please, it's gone. I hope he'll come back. But it's like I was just gonna say this, right. I'm gonna talk for just for a bit and until it comes back on, because God, I hope he'll come back on. I'm really sorry about this, but yeah, he was here earlier. I was chatting to him before I went on live. But anyways, I'm just waiting for him to come back on. But while well, I don't know what to say now. But anyways, so yeah, let me just tell you about last weekend's tour with the Soup Dragons, which is absolutely amazing. They're so good. I think they're doing another gig, another festival next month. And if you get a chance, so do go and see the Soup Dragons, because they are superb. I mean, the ones who saw them last year when they got back together, um, can tell you that they're really, really good. It's like I was talking to someone today on the train, and he did say to me that it's like 30 years just disappeared. When he saw them again, but I don't know what else to say. Yep, we're back. Okay, so right, once again, my dear friends, please welcome Tom Reid.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
How
How
are
are
you? Are
you?
you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. How are you, Tom?
I'm good. I'm good. Good. I had a little problem there with the internet as we just when we went offline there for a second, but it's come back on. So let's hope it
Oh,
stays
it's
that
come
way.
back on. Yeah. No, that's
Come
fine,
back
because I
on.
was just telling them about the Soup Dragon store, mini tour.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
didn't hear anything.
Yeah, they did the 3 day last weekend. So it's
Yeah.
Friday in Hull, and then Saturday part of the Stone Valley Festival, and then yesterday they were in Hebden Bridge, and
Oh,
I was just doing the merch for them. So I thought, while you're waiting for you to come back on again, I just told them I just told them about the Soup Dragons gig. But anyways, so finally, because I was hoping that you'd be here next week, last week, or no, 2 weeks
yeah.
ago, I think it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I had a
But you
60th
had a
birthday
wedding.
party. Yeah, I had a 60th birthday party where everybody seems to be turning 60 all of a sudden.
Oh yeah,
So
of course. Sorry. Yeah,
yeah, everybody seems to be turning 60. So I was out last weekend, so I thought it's not probably a good time to do it the next week, next day.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad that you still said okay for Monday, because I normally do it on a Sunday,
Yeah.
but because I was away, so yeah, I thought I'll do it on a Monday. But
Thanks for
anyways,
inviting me.
pardon.
I said thanks
It's
for inviting me.
but well, anyway, so welcome to Ask the Drummer. Episode 126 is all about you, Tom Reid. Right. So I mentioned earlier, when you disappeared, that you're from Aberdeen. Is that right?
Yeah, from Aberdeen, yeah, up the northeast of Scotland, yeah, far northeast. Famous for its fishing, oil industry, and the Northern Lights, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Northern
And
Lights of
Annie
Aberdeen, yeah.
Lennox. Annie Lennox is from Aberdeen,
Yeah, she
I
was.
believe.
Yeah, she was. I forgot about that. I was thinking of people the other day who was from Aberdeen, different bands, and I was trying to think. And of course, Johnny Lennox was from Aberdeen. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, yeah. So what was Aberdeen like when you were growing up?
Do you know, it was a great place. I used to live in a place called Rosemount, and then we moved into a council estate in Aberdeen. It was a brand new council estate called Tillydrone. So we moved in there. It was a great time to move there because everybody was moving there the same age. So I had loads of friends, and in people nearby, in new neighbours who were all, roughly the same age as me. So we moved into Tillydrone, wasn't that? And then I went to school there. Obviously, ended up in a place as a school called Linksfield Academy that we went to, which was great because it used to be down near the beach in Aberdeen. So we used to spend most of the time on the beach or watching the football team train, because Aberdeen used to train there, the football team. So we spent a lot of time down at the sea. So it was a good place. It's a good place, Aberdeen.
Yeah. I don't think I've been to Aberdeen, but what's the music scene like in Aberdeen? I mean, I know I mentioned earlier Annie Lennox was from Aberdeen, but when you were growing up, were there lots of sort of like places or to go to for gigs?
There's quite a few places that you could play. I mean, we were lucky actually in Aberdeen because lots of bands did come up. Being so far north, particularly at that time as well, travel and stuff. There was a lot of bands used to come to Aberdeen. We were very lucky. I was spoiled a little bit. The Cure would come up and the Buzzcocks would come up and they would play. So when we were about 16, 17, it was great. There was loads of great bands and Joy Division and Coventry Specials, and it used to be fantastic.
Yeah. So did you go to a lot of these gigs when you're young?
God, yeah, because you have to remember we're all that age. We're all punks, so we're all punk rockers. So we would go to see the Clash when they played in Aberdeen, which was fantastic. And you'd go, and as I say, we're lucky because lots of bands used to come up, and there was good sort of big venues there, the Capitol and the Music Hall, which is in the centre of town. So we'd spend all our time either going to see bands or hanging around the record shops in Aberdeen, buying records and playing video games, basically.
Oh wow! Well, were you from a musical family? Because I know that you've got a sister called Anne without an E.
Correct.
That's from Step by Step. I remember that when I saw you at Preston Pop like 2 years ago. So, so are you from a musical family or a music family?
From a musical family as such, but my father was a great singer and he would sing all the time, particularly at New Year in Scotland, because in Scotland New Year is a big thing. So everybody would go up and sing. So my dad would sing, and him and my auntie Margaret used to play piano together. And even though we never had a piano in the house, because as I say, when we moved into a new house, council estate, only had small rooms, and we didn't have any room for a piano. So my dad used to play the piano and sing, and I used to listen to them. And at Christmas time, I'd get up and sing as well. We'd all sing together. So it was quite nice. So on that side of it, I suppose it was musical because of the singing and things, but no drums or anything like that involved.
Yeah, and I believe it was your sister who used to have like a record collection, or did she used to sort of like tape charts, and that's how you got into sort of like pop music?
She used to have a little cassette, and of course you'd sit around and do the countdown for the charts. I think it was on a Sunday afternoon, and we would record it, which was illegal at the time, I think. You'd record it and you'd listen to all the songs back over and over again. You know what I mean? It was like a miracle, because to actually be able to record something and listen to it on a tape was amazing. So he did sort of introduce to that. But my brother was a big fan of the Beatles, and I was the records lying around, Revolver and Rubber Soul. So I'd sit and listen to those mostly because it was there, and Jim Reeves songs with my dad and Hank Williams and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you're the youngest?
Yes. Yeah, I'm the youngest, yeah.
Oh, that's so what got you into drumming though? Did you actually sort of like learn how to play other instruments before you got into drums, or immediately you're drawn to the drum kit?
And no, you know what? As I say, when we were at school, we didn't do music at school. We did, but it was something very simple. It was just playing tambourines and things. But we never actually did any music at school. So I was quite late. I was about 16 when we started playing. So me and Jim, who's in Jasmine Minks, Jim used to come around the house with his guitar because his sister had a guitar, so he played guitar, and we'd come to my bedroom and we'd start playing songs, and he'd sing Bowie songs. And then, because we were all punks obviously at the time, we decided, hey, let's be in a punk band, because everybody's in a punk band. And everybody we knew was in a band. That's just what you did in the 70s. You joined a band regardless. And I had no intentions of playing the drum whatsoever. But one day we're sitting in the bedroom and Jim says, "Oh, let's get a band together." And my mate Stephen, who was with us, he said, "Oh, okay, I'll play bass." And they just said, both turned around at me and said, "Well, Tom, you'll have to play the drums." I went, "Oh, great, cheers, thanks, okay." So that's how it started. It was as simple as that. I decided to become a drummer on the spur of the moment. We used to rehearse. My mum used to have a lilo. Do you know what lilo? The lilo is where the things you lie on in the sun, sorry, in the sun.
Or is it a lounger, like a
A
sun
lounger,
lounger?
yeah, like a
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
lounger. That's it, a lilo
yeah,
in
yeah.
Scotland. So we used to sit in my bedroom. Jim played his guitar. I'd have the lilo. And his sister gave us a pair of drumsticks. So I used to play the drums on this lilo, and that was how I got started. Strangely, yeah, but do that because
Yeah.
um, we couldn't afford a set of drum kits, so we just used to do that to start with. Until, as I say, I was when I was 16 and I left school, I was working in the supply ships to the oil rigs. So I was earning sort of reasonable money, but you couldn't go and buy a set of drums in the shops.
Yeah,
So I had to get my dad to get some money, and he bought the drums for me, and I paid him back weekly, sort of thing. So that's how I got my first set of drums.
but this is really so like strange because you saw like because you're forming a band, and then the others already say, okay, I'm gonna play the guitar or I'm gonna play the bass, and then they just sort of like said to you, you play the drums, but did you just sort of like take into it straight away, or was it difficult for you to actually sort of like
Well, yeah, I mean,
start?
I think every plays drums, you have to maybe just have a little bit of that initial being able to do it. And when we got the drums, and obviously I had them in my house, and my neighbours weren't very happy because, as everybody will tell you, playing the drums, they are a nightmare.
You know?
You can't ever rehearse because everybody gets annoyed at you. But we were
Yeah.
lucky, and we used to, across where we used to live, there was like a boxing club. We used to go to the boxing club, and there was a little other place. We used to go there, and they used to let us carry my drums over, so I
Yeah.
could practice in there, which was great. But I remember when I got my drums and I set them up for the first time, or I was playing them. One day I was watching Top of the Pops, and I noticed that the drummers had the snare drum between their legs, and I used to have my snare drum at the side of my leg because it was easier to play, so I didn't have to cross my hands.
Yeah.
So I just taught myself from that position of watching basically people on Top of the Pops, and I just
Oh
taught myself.
well. So you didn't have any proper drumming lessons at
No,
all?
not at all. No.
Wow, that's fantastic. So was that your first band then with Jim and the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
guys
we
that
got
were
a first
playing?
band together. I think, well, we had three or four names. I think the first name was called Absent Omen, and then we were called The Vents, which is short for Ventilators, which I still think is a good name for a band, if I'm being honest.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
Well, it was.
But
Anyway, and then we became a band called Bondage.
oh,
It was just the three of us, and no, it was four of
yeah,
us,
yeah,
four of our friends. So we're a band called Bondage, and we did used to do a couple of little gigs, and I didn't know what the word bondage meant. It was only because the Clash had bondage trousers, and so
oh I see.
we call myself Bondage. And
Yeah,
um, we used to do just little gigs, and my very first gig was actually New Year's Eve in Jim's house, where we played to his neighbours and a few of our friends. So it was our very first gig. Was just us three and a friend of ours called Dugan, I think, who was singing. So it was four of us.
yeah, yeah. And how old are you? But at the time, was that 16,
16,
17?
yeah. As I said, I just started playing drums at 16, just out of the blue, just decided to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Beforehand,
And
I hadn't thought about playing any instruments, if I'm being honest.
not even so like guitar. Maybe did you pick up a guitar? Maybe
No,
like
not really. No,
no?
no, we just was into music. It was the whole thing was punk came along. It sort of basically says to you, you can do anything, play anything, and it was only because of that and because I got into the music that
Yeah, yeah,
it was like the next step, really. Because, like I said,
yeah.
every seemed to play. Nearly every was in a band. All our friends were in bands. And what I say, we're
Wow.
lucky. No, sorry.
Yeah, no, Aberdeen must have been like a really sort of like nice place with everyone like the same age as you were forming their own bands and so like you know either either they just decide to be a drummer or a guitar or and then everybody else was sort of like seemed to be into music.
Yeah,
Was that sort of like the? the feeling? Was it like that in Aberdeen at the time?
Yeah, it felt like that. I mean, we were lucky as well. We had a club called the 62 Club, and it was in the centre of town. It was traditionally a place, it was like in a church hall, which you could, they sort of like going back years, like the Teddy Boys used to go there, and, everybody, the Northern Solars would go there, and then it was our turn sort of thing, was the punks would go there. So we would go there and we would put gigs on, and so everybody would play. So we all sort of learned our trade there, I would say. Everybody made mistakes. We all just got on stage and played together. And it was just a really good experience because, as I say, everybody was in bands and everybody wanted to play. So it was a good way of learning.
Yeah. So you and Jim Shepard's always been so like together.
Yeah. We went to school together. We both went to school together. Like a lot of the Jasmine Minks, that we've all stuck together. Walter Duncan, who used to live in Tillydrome with us as well, and went to the same school. And Derek Christie, who played trumpet for us, he joined us as well. And we've got Martin Keener, who's actually from Portsmouth or from London, Ladbroke Grove. But a lot of us all came from Aberdeen.
Yeah. Was it sort of like around the same time as this? Because they're the famous one is the Glasgow music scene. Because in Glasgow there was sort of like was it around the same time as Postcard Records, or maybe in Edinburgh they have the sort of like
Postcard Records, because obviously we was all into the punk. The Postcard Record thing came a little bit later, but we quickly changed from certainly obviously me and Jim and that we quickly changed. Started listening to, after all the punk stuff like the Buzzcocks, I'm still a fan of and used to love. We changed quickly and started listening to all the Postcard, Orange Juice, Joseph K, Aztec Camera, all the postcard, Scottish postcard bands. So that was like our next step. And we was always big fans of the Byrds anyway, people like the Byrds. And I think that's where all the harmonies and things come from, because we used to love the Beatles, the Byrds, and all the postcard stuff came along. So it was a good time to be listening to music.
Yeah. When did you actually change the name to the Jasmine Minks?
Well, it's when we ended up in London, when I came down to London originally, and then Jim and the rest of the lads came afterwards. Jim and Adam came down afterwards. And we came up with a name in a house it was called Vauxhall, I think it was where we stayed. God, I can't remember, like I told you, my memory. Well, we stayed, and Jim had a flat there, and we sort of came up with a name. Jim used to live in Jasmine Terrace in Aberdeen.
Okay.
And the word mink in Aberdeen means, you always say to people, "Oh, you're a mink," which means you're from a council estate or poor or something like that. So we used to call ourselves the Jasmine Minks. That's how the name came about. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. So mink is like you're from the council.
Yeah, sort of thing, like a bit like say, "Oh, you're a tinker or something in Ireland, or you're a minker or something like that." That's what it's a very Aberdonian word. You don't say it anywhere else in Scotland. It's a local word that people know. So if you say mink, people know what it means. MINKS.
Yeah. But you were doing, before you went to London, you were doing gigs already in Aberdeen. So like you and Jim, and then with other sort of like band members as well. But when you left London, were you still sort of like thinking that you're gonna continue with the band, or it's only because Jim followed you in London?
It was not immediately, because I'd end up coming down. I met somebody, and it was strange because we all went to Skegness, like me and Jim and that, and we went to Skegness, and we met some people there, some girls, and I ended up moving out of London to Walthamstow, and just around the corner from Rough Trade Records, which was cool. So I used to hang out there, which was nice. And then nothing was really planned, if I'm being honest. I don't think anything that we do is that planned, but it just sort of happened. I came down, they decided to join us and let's say carry on the band in London. And that's basically what happened.
Yeah. Well, I've sort of like Googled the band's sort of like history, and according to Wikipedia, you actually just sort of like sent a demo tape to a magazine, Melody Maker, it's called.
Yeah.
And then and then you got like signed by Alan McGee. Is that how it happened?
That's basically, it's as simple as that. We started rehearsing at a studio called Alaska Studios in Alaska Street in Waterloo. And we'd rehearsed loads in there. It was a great place. There was people like Glenn Matlock used to be in there rehearsing. I don't think he was with the rich kids at the time, but there was in there, and other band UK subs was in there, and we used to rehearse. And we
Yeah.
just decided one day to send a cassette off to the enemy that had like a talent thing. And Alan was working there at the time, I think part time. He heard it and he asked to come and listen to us in the studio, rehearse one afternoon. He came in straight away, loved it, and said, "I'm starting a record label up. I'd love you to be on it." That was it.
Wow. Do you know, talking of Alan McGee, because at the festival last Saturday, he was there.
Oh yeah.
I didn't actually recognize him. I had to sort of like ask one of the like Jim McCulloch from the Soup Dragons. I said, "Who's that?" So, like, and then he said, "That's Alan McGee." But you know, he's sort of like done wonders for so many bands.
God, yeah,
And
no,
you know,
he's
like,
been massively influential, hasn't he? He's
yeah,
hugely
yeah,
influential. He was influential for us, but he certainly was with all the bands that he managed. Obviously, like your Oasis of this world. But he's been a very talented lad.
so you stayed with him. So you're he signed you, and then you sort of like released records for him, or
Yeah,
under Creation Records.
we were like one of the first, one of the first bands. So Think, our first single
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
I think it's Creation number 4 was, yeah, Creation Records released it as their very first sort of proper single for a band. So we was like one of the first bands on there.
wow. What was that like? Because you know, when you think of Creation Records, you immediately you think of Oasis or maybe the Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like being you the first so like under Creation Records?
I suppose at the time you don't really notice that, but listen, it was an exciting time because you used to go down to Arlem had a club called the Living Room, which is well publicised, which where loads of bands used to play, and we used to play there. And as I say, Primal Scream would play there, and the Bodines, who I know you're a fan of, would play
Yeah,
there, and the Pastels. So it was like a really it's exciting sort of scene, and there was a lot of Scottish people as well because we were all. It seemed to be a lot of Scottish influences in the bands at the time.
yeah,
Later on with the Jesus and Mary chain and things like that as well. So yeah, it was an exciting time, and it was great to be part of the whole, the whole movement sort of thing.
yeah. And this by this time you're already like a full like you, Jim Shepard, and then Dave. Is it Dave Musker or so? Like
Yeah, so Dave,
part
yeah,
of the team?
so Dave, it was Adam Sanderson who's originally the original singer, with me and Jim and Martin Keena. So Martin we met in London, um, and he joined the band, and then
Yeah,
Dave Musker, he still plays with it now. Dave Musker for the TV personalities, and so it was us 4 or 5 together, doing loads of little gigs around London, which was great.
yeah. So it's actually so like a band. It's like half of it from Aberdeen, and then so like the rest are
Yeah,
from London. Yeah,
well, yeah, we're always adding people. We're good at that. We're always adding different people. A lot of the people I would say, we're one of those bands that it's things just happen sometimes. No, we've friends will come down from Scotland, like I say, with a trumpet and say, "Okay, let's just join a band."
Well, is it true also that when you're under Creation Records, that you once played 8 gigs in one day? Is that true? I mean,
Was
how
that
could
right?
it
We did like a bus. I think we did like a busking tour. So we did like all the places like Rough Trade Records, and we played up Carnaby Street, and then we played a gig in the evening at the 100 Club, and then or some actually it might have not been 100 Club, but there was like that. So basically, yeah, we did. We had like a big promotional thing, and we
Yeah,
played like 8 gigs in one day. So it
that's
was like,
incredible.
yeah, it was,
Like how many songs in per set, like per gig? How many did you do?
oh god, I don't know. I think probably about like 6, I would think. But in the evening, we did a proper gig, so it was all leading up to a big sort of gig at the evening, um,
Yeah.
and would have played a full set then. But basically, yeah, would play, as I say, a place like Carnaby Street, and be sitting outside just with. I just have a one snare drum, hi hat, and things like that. With the rest of the band there, so it was like acoustic. And then in the evening, we'd do a couple of. But it was great.
Yeah, so you actually sort of like a standing. So it was like a standing drummer, or were you actually sitting down?
No,
You're like
I
Bobby
think I just had a
Gillespie,
little
you sort of
stool.
like do.
I just had my little stool, snare and hi hat. Didn't have a
Okay,
bass
yeah.
drum. And then we'd pick it up and run to the next place and do it, and then pick up again, jump in the car. Probably got public transport and then on the tube or something.
Yeah.
Because
Is that something that you would still do? No?
yeah, it's not far off what we do now. Occasionally we'll jump, we'll have to jump tubes, buses, and in them days it was only Jim that could drive, and so none of us could drive. And when I was younger as well, we had to carry my drums everywhere. Being a drummer, that's also your down, not your downfall. The pain is you have to carry it anywhere on my drums all the time,
Yeah,
on a
because
tube, on a bus.
that's one thing about drummers. Because I mean, with the guitarist and the singer who hasn't really got an instrument at all, but with the guitarist they only have a guitar. But with drummers, did you ever get any help from the other band members? So like, okay, I'll carry this for you. So, like, or did they just let you? You're the drummer. You carry all your instruments.
No, I mean, yeah, people join in and help. And we had our friend who plays guitar with us now, again, another guitarist, Chris Narayan, who he's playing with us at the moment,
Yeah.
playing guitar. And he used to be with Roddy, so Chris always used to do carry our drums around, and Baby chipped in a little bit. But yeah, listen, guitarists are great. They just come up and plug the guitars and start playing. Always dreamed of doing that.
Do you play other instrument? Music, like do you play the guitar or maybe
Yeah, I play the guitar. Yeah, so no, I've been playing little gigs. I just mentioned my friend Chris there. So me and Chris have been playing some gigs together, doing some original
Oh,
songs, doing some Jasmine Minks songs that I might have wrote, and other ones that I haven't.
yeah.
So yeah, we've been sort of doing little bits and pieces at the moment, which has been good fun.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I think
Um,
you pick up things like guitar. If you play in a band, you spend a lot of time in the back of vans, which we tended to do. So you end up, no, I think everybody will pick up a guitar or somebody will play the drums, and you end up
yeah,
just like, because you've got time on your hands. So you do learn other instruments. So playing
yeah, yeah.
guitar and singing. So that's what I do now.
But you're a singing drummer as well. I
Yes.
mean, you
Singing drummers.
and you also write the like the music, or
Some songs, yeah,
write the
some
song.
songs. Yeah.
Yeah,
More so
yeah,
them, which is great. You know, at the moment, the new album, it's out. We make our own history. That the new album, which we've been recently touring, playing gigs up and down the country.
yeah,
We've all got songs on there, which is great. You know, Water's written a couple of songs, Jim's written the majority, I've written one. So it's nice. Yes, I've been writing a couple of songs and playing. Um,
yeah.
and I've been playing guitar on it. I think one of them. I told them
Oh,
to put it on it. Yeah, it says definitely make sure my name's on that played guitar.
is it difficult for a singing drummer like to do it? Because you don't just concentrate on playing the drums, but you also have to like sing.
I
So
think you know what. Yeah. I personally think it limits you a little bit because first of all, you've got a microphone stand straight across your face, which gets in your way slightly when you're playing. So, and when we were certainly the early days, we were quite a frantic band. We're very sort of like passionate and frantic when we're playing music, and still are a bit now. So
yeah,
when I used to have the mic stand there, it was always it sort of holds you back a little bit. I don't find it too hard singing and playing, but it does limit some of the things you can do because you're concentrating on singing and just the logistics of the kit with the. I haven't got a radio mic or anything snazzy like that.
yeah, yeah.
No mic stand in front of your face.
um, there's another thing that I saw on the internet, like Wikipedia, about apparently it was one day you were playing at the living room, like Alan McGee's
Yeah,
club, and Morrissey turned up.
yeah,
Do
more.
you
Yeah,
remember that? Do
yeah.
you
I do
remember that?
remember it. Do you know what? I can't remember if it was a living room or if it was another. But we've had before. We had Kevin Rowlands come to see us before, and I think we had to go down and let them in because they said, "Oh no, you can't come in." So we would go down and say, "No, no, it's fine, just let them in." But Morrissey, yeah, he did come to see us. Yeah,
And apparently, this is again on Wikipedia that he wanted to do like a collaboration, like the Smiths and the Jasmine Minks, so like
I,
single. Do you
I,
remember that at all?
no, I can't remember it. I mean, maybe he'd been chatting to Jim or Walter or maybe someone, that would have been Jim or Adam at the time. He might have been chatting to them about it. But hey, I don't personally remember that myself, but I do. Wouldn't be surprised because he seemed he came along to see us and he seemed he was also
You liked?
a fan.
Yeah. Have you sort of like played with them or toured with
No,
the Smiths?
not with the Smiths. No, but we used to people like the Go Betweens, and we'd come and see us, people like that sometimes, which was great. And we sort of got to know them a little bit, which was nice. And we played with the Go Betweens, and we'd go and see them play, and sometimes they'd come and see us play, which was nice. I think that was and people like Kevin Rowland and stuff used to come and see, so it was really good. I mean, I don't remember a collaboration going on. I would have liked to, but
Yeah.
maybe I was left out.
I think that would have been really good. So like the Smiths and the Jasmine Minks, or like doing a single
brilliant.
together or something. Like, but have you been on Top of the Pops?
No.
Did you play on Top of the Pops?
What on Top of the Pops? No, again, at that time, I think we were just a little bit unlucky, with all the bands at the time that were taking off, with the Jesus and Mary Chain and Primal Scream. We slightly missed that boat. There was a time, actually, when we were doing really well, I broke my leg quite badly playing football. And we had to, as a friend of ours called Fusky Robert Gregg, had to fill in for us, and he played the drums for a while, just at a time when we were really sort of taking off. And I don't think that was why we sort of maybe didn't take that next step. But it was bad timing, put it that way. It was bad timing. And we played a gig in Leeds with Mo Tucker from Velvet Underground, which I wasn't happy about because I missed it. And I missed the gig because Fusky, our drummer, stepped in for me, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh my God. Underground band, obviously, and to miss playing just with the Mo Tucker band, we supported them, and I didn't play, so I wasn't happy about that one adventure.
Oh no, because I have to say that the Jasmine Minks. I mean, I'm originally from the Philippines, and I don't think it reached us. I don't think the band actually reached us in the Philippines. So I'm sort of like wondering. I mean, what time frame it was, because it was with the Smiths. It would have been sort of like new wave. Were you sort of like part of that new wave?
We're going like that indie scene. I say like the creation indie scene, like a C60, 86 sort of scene, right about that time. So we did certainly used to sell records, quite a lot of records, certainly in Japan. We had quite a following in places like Japan and in America and Argentina and places like that. People, we got a lot of feedback from the people. We never played there, sadly. That, again, a couple of things stopped us, but we did have that following.
But did you tour anywhere outside the UK, or did you go to America? Or
we didn't go to America, but we did. We played in Europe lots. We played, as I said, there was a sort of famous creation tour in '84 where we played with Alan McGee's band Biff Bang Pow, along with the Jesus and the Mary Chain and ourselves. The three of us went on a little tour to Germany, and we played in Berlin and Hamburg and a place called Enger and Cologne. We ended up in Switzerland and France. So yeah, we've certainly gone abroad. We had quite a few good experiences, so it was great.
Yeah, and not in Japan. You didn't, so because I know some bands are sort of like they went to Japan but didn't actually go anywhere in Asia, or sort of like not in the Philippines. Definitely,
we would have loved to have gone to Japan, but it just wasn't for whatever reason. Because I think when we had an album in 2002 came out called Pop Art Glory, and that did really well in Japan as well.
Oh, right. But there's no sort of like mention of sort of like touring the album, and so like maybe because I mean nowadays you see all these sort of like bands from the 80s, and then they go in places like Japan or the Philippines. And, so there's no sort of like you didn't sort of like plan on sort of like going to tour the album somewhere like in Asia.
We're also a bit restricted because our problem is like with some bands is like, Jim lives up in the west coast of Scotland. I live down in London. Martin lives in Portsmouth. Walter lives over in Edinburgh, just outside Edinburgh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
we can never get together to rehearse because I think the only time when we see ourselves is usually we've just literally just got together that day and we either rehearse quickly or just play. So that logistics has always played a part where we couldn't get dates. We've been offered things in America,
yeah,
recently in Germany and as well in Berlin, but just getting that time together these days is a little bit more awkward. The
yeah,
timing for it. If I can do it, someone else can't. If somebody else can do it, I can't. It's that sort of thing.
yeah. And you all have like day jobs that you have to
Yeah,
do.
sadly.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no. Another. This is really interesting because one of the band members of the Jasmine Minks is Dave Arnold of the Claim.
He was again. We used to have different people joining us, and Dave was like
Yeah.
a guitarist that played for us for a period of time, and we got friendly with Dave and the Claim, and so we used to play gigs. Dave came to Scotland, played gigs with us up in Scotland and around Glasgow and around those
Yeah.
little places years
Because
ago. But yeah,
they supported you at the Talleyrand, didn't they? Was
no,
was it the Claim? No, was it your gig that the
no,
Claim? So like,
the Taliban recently up in
yeah,
Manchester. No,
because I remember seeing.
Danny George Wilson from the Champs.
Oh
He
yeah, of course.
he
But I
played with the
remember seeing
Taliban.
the Claim at the Talleyrand. I can't remember now whether it was
The Claim.
your that they
No, we
supported.
played at Taliban. Then we went to Sutton to this live venue in Sutton in London, where we live in Sutton, called the Sound Lounge. So we played there, and then
Yeah.
when we went to Brighton, the next day there was a festival. Can't remember the name of it, and the Claim supported us then. That was a couple of days after the Taliban. The Taliban.
Oh, the Talleyrand. Yeah, yeah, that's right. I'm just getting confused because I know I've seen the Claim at the Talleyrand, and then when I
Yeah,
found out that he was actually part of the Jasmine Minks, I thought, was it them who supported you? I'm getting confused now. Maybe it was a different gig. Maybe they supported somebody else.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, but Dave was around for a while, and Dave was a good addition to the band.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to Glasgow's Pop?
Yeah, you know what? It was just today. We've just booked our train ticket. Well, no, I'm driving up, but the rest of the lads in London we've just booked our tickets. And my she's coming to sing with us as well. So
Oh,
we booked
great.
a ticket for her and we booked a hotel room. So I'm really looking forward to it actually because Jim was there last year, and he told us what a great event it was.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember because when I saw you at Preston Pop, because
Yeah,
they're doing another one this year, and I think it's the end of June. I think the last weekend of June.
what in Preston? Yeah,
Preston Pop, yeah,
yes, yeah, Preston. Yeah, is it Rico that does the?
yeah, Rico, yeah, because
Yeah,
Rico's back.
yeah. Yeah, Rico's back. I heard Rico's back, so that's
Yeah,
good. So hopefully, we'll be able to do it in the future.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah, because it was like he's off social media for a while, and then recently he came back, and
Yeah,
then he announced that he's going to be doing Preston Pop again, so like end of June. And that's where I saw before the Talleyrand. That's where I saw the Jasmine Minks.
that's right. I do
So
remember that gig. 'Cause I remember it was a really hot, warm day. I remember sitting outside, and it was
yeah,
very nice.
yeah,
Very nice weather. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. But I love Glasgow's Pop. I mean, this is the third year now, and I've been to the first and the second one. So I'm really glad when they announced that you're playing there as well. Um, so it's the full. It's all like the full band that's going to.
Yeah, full band. Yeah, as I say, Dave will be there, Martin and Walter and Jim, and we've got, as I say, my friend Chris is playing guitar as well for us now. So and Isabel's got to be singing my daughter. So it's got to be the full band there to do that time.
Yeah, and the new album, you mentioned it because I've got a copy of it. I was supposed to like have it here, but I left it in the other room. But I posted it on the After the Drummer page. That's Last Night from Glasgow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so like released by Last Night from
last
Glasgow,
night from
right?
Glasgow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah. So
and
are
that's
you
been out now
part
this
of their
year.
roster now?
Sorry.
Are you part of Last Night from Glasgow's roster? So your future releases will be coming from last night.
I'm not too sure about future releases, but obviously this album we've done there, it's been doing really well. We've been doing a lot of gigs off of it, touring
Yeah,
around, which has been great. So that means we can all get back together and play. No real plans for any future releases, but we never know. I know Jim has been working on some solo stuff, and I've been thinking of some solo stuff, and I know Water's been thinking of some solo stuff. So we might be doing little bits and pieces like that.
can I just ask you, you're not on social media, are you?
No, it's terrible. I'm not on social media. You know, I'm not. And, you know,
'Cause-
sometimes I feel really bad because I have to keep asking my wife. I says, "What's happening there with?" She goes, "Just go on social media. You'll see it." I goes, "Oh, okay." I should do. Should do. There's so much great
yeah.
stuff out there, particularly music and contacting people.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because I mean, I know that Jim Shepherd's on social media. We're actually friends on Facebook. So, but
Yeah,
I
Jim's
just
big
think,
social media. Yeah.
yeah, I just think that bands really need this sort of like social media presence because that's how things are now at the moment. You know, it's like that's how you get to know about the gigs and so like where they're playing or so like new releases and stuff. So
Oh,
as it
definitely.
not, yeah, it doesn't interest you to sort of like be on social media.
No, it doesn't. But you know, I know that Jim and Walt are fantastic. They're the two that really push your band all the time. You know, they're always pushing it, and we're in contact with each other regularly. We've got a little WhatsApp group, so we're
Yeah,
always with the Minks WhatsApp group. So we know what's going on, and they certainly keep me posted regularly. But I do go to the Jasmine Minks website sometimes because it's nice to see some videos that people upload
yeah.
and um, and other bits. But yeah, they're the drivers there. I'm sit at the back like I normally do when I'm playing drums, hiding, hiding
Not
and
even
singing.
not even Twitter or Instagram because I think that
No,
some musicians they are on Instagram but not on Facebook because I think Facebook is more sort of like like the general thing.
because
But music,
Instagram's a thing to be on. Is that what you think you should advise me to be on Instagram
well,
rather
Instagram
than
is also very important as well. Yeah. But business, I think where it's business and really sort of like trying to get as many sort of like people or reach as many sort of like audiences as possible. I think Twitter is the best one for that.
Oh, is it? Yeah. And again, Jim in Water, they're on Twitter. They're all over that all the time. But you know what? Since I'm doing some bits and pieces on my own, I might start
Yeah,
uploading stuff.
yeah, that would be. I look forward to that. I look forward to actually seeing you on Facebook.
Yeah, you never know.
So
The next time I'll be playing London when I'm playing, singing and playing guitar and stuff like that, and me and Chris is getting together, I'll give you a shout.
yeah, yes.
I've got your email address. Email's what I do. Emailing my thing. So
Yeah. So the solo, well, not solo because you're playing with Chris, but so this new project. So you're not playing the drums. You're just so like, are you
well,
playing the
what it
guitar?
is what basically happened. As I say, we live in Sutton in Surrey. I live in Sutton in Surrey, and there's a venue opened up called the Sound Lounge, which is a Americana music venue. And it's a fantastic place. It's got a Union Records record shop in there. So we started going there having drinks. It's a fantastic local, if you could call it that, because it's got music, live venue, and a bar. So
Yeah.
it's a vegan restaurant as well. So because of that, we met lots of other people, musicians, because it draws everybody in. And then they said, "Why don't you do something?" So me and Chris, who basically he just learned to play guitar during lockdown, we decided let's do some songs for a bit of fun, and it's sort of taken off. So we've started doing lots of things with other musicians in there, and starting a little bands up. And I play the drums sometimes, but most of the time I sing and play guitar.
Wow. Do you know what? I wanted to ask you this: when you write the song, do you think of the drum parts first, or
No, I think usually what I do is I think of the melody of a song usually first, and lyrics start coming in, and then. But I do tend to think of I do think of putting it. I think of doing everything basically. And I try to do the whole thing if I can.
yeah?
no, I can play the drums, so I end up adding a little drum pattern to it when I'm doing it. But I'm not like, again, Jim and everybody, they do have things on the computer. I tend not to do that. I just play guitar, record myself doing it, and then think of the drums later.
Oh, I see. Because I sometimes wonder whether it's different for a drummer singer writing, the process of
Yeah.
writing the songs. If it's different for you, as for Jim Shepherd writing because he's the guitarist or he plays the guitar or something, that maybe he hasn't got the drum part for the song.
No,
Is
maybe,
that
but
how?
I
Yeah, is
think
that how you do it?
Jim, when he does write things, he does add his own little drum bits to it, and he might send it to me, and I'll change it or do different things and add my own. And that's how we record these days. Basically, they'll send a wave file, and we'll go to the studio. I mean, the album was recorded like that. Jim and Walter and everybody sent some wave files down to Pat Collier's studio. If you know Pat Collier, who used to be in the Vibrators, we was using his studio, which is great. And they'd send all the
Yeah,
files to him, and I'd sit at home and learn the drums, and then go and record it, and then we'll do the vocals and things.
yeah. Uh, well, apart from Glasgow's Pop, is there any other sort of like gigs that coming up
Do you
for
know what? As I say,
Jasmine?
but not at the moment because we had been on, like, I wouldn't say a tour, but a little mini tour. So we're promoting my bit with Bristol, up in Scotland, Edinburgh, and Glasgow, and we
Yeah,
did a gig in Aberdeen, which was great. So it's good to go home and play in your hometown. So we've been playing quite a lot down in, as I say, down in Brighton, and was in Manchester. So at the moment, we've just the next gig will be that one. So we're trying to rehearse now.
oh, right.
But
Yeah,
what
because we've
happens
only
when I
got
say
like two
rehearse,
two months.
what happens is me and the bass player Martin get together. We get a little studio in Sutton. Chris comes along. Dave turns up as well, and we just the three or four of us just like go through the songs quickly, and then meet Jim and Walter up in Scotland or whatever the gig might be, and we just get together there.
Oh, so you don't live in Aberdeen anymore?
I live in Sutton in Surrey.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're not going back to Aberdeen, and Jim is still in Aberdeen or
No,
somewhere
Jim's
in
actually
Scotland.
in over towards Fort William on the west coast of Scotland, and
Okay.
Walter is on the east coast near North Berwick. So we're miles away from each other.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
It's
problem
difficult.
because it's very hard to rehearse when none of us are, near each
Yeah.
other. So we never rehearse.
Yeah, that's right.
We just
Um,
turn up and play gigs. Basically, that's what we do.
but what about so like during lockdown, people actually like do online gigs. So do you do that? Like,
You know,
do you try and
as we
practice like
as we
that?
just as we just said earlier, no, I'm not on social media, so I didn't do
Oh yeah,
anything.
of course. No, but
But
no, it's something like this with sort of like Zoom or
I didn't even
Zoom
do it.
practice and things.
No, because
No.
Jim was doing some. He did. I think, tell a lie, I did do one song. I did do one song, and I sent it to Jim. He put it on the Jasmine Minks website. I sang a song outside on the guitar. Um, I think it might have been Step by Step, but anyway, and he uploaded it to the Jasmine Minks website, but I didn't.
You didn't see it.
I didn't. I no, I didn't do it. He puts. I know he put some of his songs on when he was playing, and I put a couple, but he was the one that uploaded it all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you're missing out. You're missing
No,
out on all these.
I'm starting to think I'm still out now. I think I should actually start investing in it and maybe putting some stuff out there. As I say, maybe if I'm doing some of my own stuff, maybe I might try and promote it for a change.
So when you're not drumming, what keeps you busy? So, like,
Well, strangely, I've been working at a company for quite a long time, as I say, and it's a bit of a joke because for about the last 10 years, I kept saying I'm getting made redundant. I'm getting made redundant, and everybody goes, yeah, whatever, Tom. But I'm getting made redundant now. So that finishes on the 28th of June. Is my last day at work, which is not a
oh,
bad thing because I've been there for a long time. So most of my time's been taken up working there. I do building services, work in a media company. Years ago, I used to work in the newspapers and the Daily Telegraph, and because I was in the union, I migrated to work in the building I'm working in now. But it's all come to an end at the end of the month. So
Oh,
I'll give me more time to do other things.
like going on social media,
Like
going on
getting
social
a
media.
social media site up and running,
Yeah.
which will probably take me a long, long time.
So it was just, it's just I find it too, so like when I meet people and then they tell me that they're not on Facebook or they're not on Instagram or something, I was so like I thought everybody was so like on social media nowadays, but there are still.
I do get told off occasionally, as I say, by people saying, "Why are you not on social media? Why are you not on Facebook?" And you
Yeah.
do miss out on things. You definitely do miss out on things. So I think you've definitely gave me a boost.
A push.
Push
So,
is what I was looking for. A push to be on social media. So I might start. Yeah, that's a good thing. So when I get made redundant, I can go on social media. Great.
yeah.
Good job.
Well, well, we talked about the Jasmine Minks, but did you did you have any other band apart from the Jasmine Minks? Were you in any other sort like?
If I'm being
Uh,
honest, not really. I mean, I think, but I did actually once play at where I was working as a friend of mine called a friend I used to play with who played guitar in a band. But he used to do cover versions, and he used to do Paul Weller. His name was Paul, and he used to do Paul Weller stuff in the Jam. He decided to have a little band, so I played with him for a while, and it became the Paul Weller Experience, which is quite a big tribute band. But I played with him for about maybe as they got started, but because it wasn't really my scene, it's not my cup of tea. And I sort of said, "Look, this is fine. I'll do it for a bit. When you get another drummer, I'll leave." So I did. Then they became huge and traveled the world doing
oh,
Paul Weller and the Jam songs and doing really well.
yeah,
But it wasn't my cup of tea. So I was quite happy just playing
yeah.
with my friends.
That's interesting. So you were doing the Rick Buckler, so like,
Yeah, I was doing it. Yeah,
yeah.
we did that for
Were
a
you
bit.
a
We
fan?
played.
Are you a fan of the Jam?
Oh God, yeah. I used to love the Jam. So I used to love the Jam with Paul Weller. So it wasn't. It was something that was good to do because I love the songs, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I enjoyed it when we did it, as I say, because it was like, and he basically left work and made a living out of it, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
band did. But I decided not to do it because we're still playing with the band. We had a period, Jasmine Minks had a period where we didn't play, so it was in between that time.
yeah,
But I've never really had any major inclinations to go and play with anybody else. Really, I like the whole ethos of the band was we were all friends. We all used to play together, and that's really all I really wanted to do.
yeah. And also, you want to write your own songs and your own
Yeah.
material. So yeah, doing the Jam songs, even though they're amazing, they're so like those songs
Oh
are
yeah,
absolutely
fantastic. Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, it's always so like I always so like tell people like it's always nice to have your own songs out there and release it and stuff than doing
Oh yes,
covers.
it's
But
great.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
There's
mean,
nothing wrong about doing covers and
hey, listen, everybody does covers. I think the very first cover when we were Bondage, we used to do Novelty by Joy Division, which I just loved. So everybody does cover songs, but that's how you get started, is it?
yeah,
But it wasn't a thing I really wanted to do apart from that. But saying that
yeah,
recently, talking about having a bit of time on my hands, as I say, at the venue in Sutton, the music venue, we've as a couple of times I got a call from someone to come and they said, "Oh, could you come and play drums? I'm doing a blues set." As a friend, a gentleman called Kieran Marshall who plays blues, does a blues night down at the Sound Lounge, and he said, "Oh, can you come and play for me because my drummers let me down." I said
yeah,
to him, "Kieran, I don't know the blues," but he said, "It's fine, just come along." So I went along and played, and it was absolutely
yeah,
brilliant. I loved it. So I'd like to maybe do a bit more of that. Learn
yeah,
something, actually learn how to play certain styles of music rather than just teach myself. Because you get lots and lots of bad habits when you've taught yourself how to play.
yeah,
So I'd love to maybe do a bit of the blues and maybe do some other things, ventures like that on
yeah.
drums.
Is it very different from rock drumming or pop music drumming or some like
Yeah, I mean,
jazz and blues and
I think when you listen to the Jasmine Minks and we're that typical indie, so as I say, frantic. Well, I am drummer. No, the blues is far more chilled out and laid back, and and I really enjoyed playing it as much as. And people said, "How can you play the song if you don't even know it?" I said, "Well, I was looking for nods from the bass player and from a guitarist, but you can get by a little bit on the basics. But I want to expand that and maybe learn a little bit the proper rudiments of the blues."
All right. So you don't actually, when you play blues, you don't actually know
I didn't
the
even know the
song.
songs. I didn't even know the songs we're playing. No,
That's amazing. I mean, okay. So how do you actually sort of like do it when you don't know the songs
the thing is,
yourself?
you have heard some songs in the past. I didn't know what songs he was going to play. I didn't know the set or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
We've done it a couple of times, and you just follow each other. So you improvise a bit. I mean, that's what you can do. If you've played for a while, you can sort of improvise. So I knew what sort of was coming up, but which is nice as well because it makes it quite. You're just playing along, and it's nice to be just improvising things. So it's not everything set in stone.
yeah, yeah. No, that's really great because I was sort of like recently I went to see John Coughlin from Status Quo. He's the original drummer of Status
Yeah.
Quo, but he's doing this reimagined. So Status Quo songs, but jazz.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, jazzy sort of
yeah.
like version of it. And I thought, wow. And he's 77 years old. And I was sort of like thinking, oh my God, how amazing is it's a brilliant drummer. But anyways, I've still got sort of like four regular questions I wanted to ask you because I
Hmm.
know we're sort of nearly an hour now. Um, when you play, I don't think I've seen you do this, but do you twirl when you play drums?
No, do you know what? I'm not a twirler when I play the drums. I remember watching people do it, and as I say, because I taught myself, I don't think I taught myself that. I've tried it a couple of times and made a right mess of it. So
Oh,
it's something I don't do.
never.
Never.
Not even.
I struggle holding the drumsticks, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let alone
What
spinning.
more so like trying to twirl it and
Try
things?
to, yeah, it's hard to hold them.
Yeah. Well, I remember so like when Mark Waziki was on as the drummer, and he was trying to teach me how to do the twirl,
I was all right.
like
See,
how to twirl it.
I'd love to do. You know what? Saying that, I might go onto social media and find out. There's obviously some sort of YouTube channel that shows
Yeah.
you how to spin your drumsticks. So maybe that's something I can do as well.
Yeah. Well, the next question is, what about drumming heroes? Do you have any drumming heroes?
Do you know what I love? I've always loved the Beatles. So I've always loved Ringo Starr, and I love things like "In My Life," the song "In My Life," which I love, and I love it drumming in it as well. So someone's just such a fantastic song.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've always loved people. A lot of the older people, again, like Keith Moon. Um, there used to be
John Bonham.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. But I love even singing drummers like Karen Carpenter.
Yeah. Phil Collins.
Phil, yeah, I'm not a massive Genesis Phil
Oh,
Collins fan. Not a fan. Not a fan.
oh,
I
not a
do.
fan. Okay.
I do love, as I say, I used to love Keith Moon and John Buzzcock's drummer. God, I forgot his name.
Oh, John Ma. John Ma.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he used to do a song called Pulse Beat. And when I first learned to play the drums, I used to listen to that and could not work out how to do it. And I eventually learned how to do it, and it was like that was my favorite song for a long, long time. And because of that he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah. He actually lives in Scotland now, and
What is
I'm
it?
looking. Yeah, I'm
What?
really looking forward to sort of like seeing because he's gonna do a book event with Paul Hanley of the Fall, and
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna do it at Monorail Records.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to going there and seeing him, and hopefully I can get him on Ask the Drummer as well.
That'd be good. That'd be cool.
That would be really good. Yeah. What about disasters? All these years that you've been playing drums, have you ever had any accidents or what I call like drumming disasters?
You've got you've got the classic one, being a singing drummer. Obviously, you've got the problem of like I've mentioned, microphone stands. The amount of time that I've played, in fact, we even played in Aberdeen recently. I had the microphone stand across here, and I'd hit it somehow or something happened, and it fell into my face,
Oh no.
and it fell right across the drum kit, so you can't actually do anything. and you've got the band turning around, what's going on? So there's lots of little accidents like that happen. When I first started playing the drums, because like I said, I didn't even know how to set them up. When I used to play, the bass drum used to always move away from me and get further and further away until it was literally, oh, I couldn't reach it. So it was like, it would always keep moving. I was like, oh my God. And then Chris, who was my roadie, used to sit there and hold it, sit at the front of the stage and hold the drum for me because he used to go away. But once I did fall off a stage,
Oh,
once I
really?
fell backwards.
Oh,
You're talking
God.
about being on TV. We weren't on TV, but we were doing a thing, Capital Radio Festival. Capital Radio was doing a festival, and the Pogues and things were playing. And the
Yeah.
BBC were recording it for it was, I don't know if it was live, but it was being recorded for a TV show. But the
Yeah. Yeah.
BBC cameramen went on strike, and it was never filmed, so it didn't happen. But that day when we played, I was sitting playing, and somehow I pushed my chair back, and it went flipped because normally it's like there's a gap, so it flipped over, and I fell down the back of the stage,
Oh,
and
gosh.
kicked everything up in the air, and everybody turned around. I disappeared. I was stuck down the back of the stage, came climbing back up again. So I'm glad they didn't film it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Or
It
otherwise, it
would
would
have
be
been
on
a nightmare.
YouTube and it's all like,
It would have been all over. You talk about social media. I would have definitely been on social media then.
yeah. I think there's quite a lot of sort of like drummers who's had that experience. So like falling because sometimes when you're on the stage and then there's nothing there behind you, and then you just all like,
Well, a lot of times I have a curtain, and you don't know what's behind the curtain if there's a curtain there. So you don't know if it's a wall or like the backstage bit.
yeah,
Or we played at the Webster Theatre recently in Glasgow as well, and they've got like a curtain at the back. But when you go behind it, it's like a huge area behind it, which is great. But sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes it's a window. So
yeah.
this was
Well,
nothing this time. I just fell straight back, made a fool of himself.
well, the one that you said that you saw like the bass drum sort of like running away.
Yeah.
It's all down to sort of like the carpet, isn't it? Because I have seen it.
Yes,
I have,
100%. Again, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I didn't realize it was about a year later that I learned to play the drums that I realized that you're supposed to have a carpet to
yeah,
hold the drums. So when you're sitting on it, it doesn't physically move. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it took me a long time learning. That's what I'm talking about. Mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes when you teach.
yeah.
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, recently I've been to a gig and I've actually seen a stopper.
Oh
They
yeah.
have this thing that's like a stopper and it doesn't move, even though there's no carpet there, but there's like a door stopper almost.
Yeah, I think on a lot of stages now where it's all set up, they'll have a piece of wood screwed on so that
Yeah,
you physically can't go forward.
yeah.
And lots of people used to put it onto the carpet as well, but that's something I found out a
You've
bit
got.
too.
Well, my last question now for you is advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general. What would be your
Playing the
advice?
drums, I think you need to, when you're playing drums, you need to find a place to rehearse because I when I had my drums, when I first learned to play the drums, I couldn't rehearse enough, so I wasn't taking any lessons. So you're just teaching yourself. So you need a place to rehearse. You know what I mean? You need a place so you're not annoying lots of people. And what I would say as well is to play. No, recently I was chatting to someone in a pub, and he said, "Oh, he played the drums." So I was chatting to him. He said, "Oh, I'm at level 10 or something." He's doing all these levels,
Oh yeah,
been teaching and reading music. And then I said, "Oh, how who do you play? I'll come and see." He said, "Oh no, I've never played with anybody. I've never played in a band." I thought it's a bit strange. So what I would say is play with as much people as you can
yeah.
because that's the best way to learn is when you're playing with other people.
Do I mean you did say that you didn't have any lessons, so you can't read music for
No,
sort of like drumming, right?
no. He
Because
told me he read all he can do all this music, but he'd actually never played in a band. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I think
because
it's always yeah, it's always better to sort of like learn it, and especially if you're be with other people, with other musicians who actually can play
that's how I
music
learned
like
them. It's just playing with your friends, playing with other musicians, learning the tempo, keeping things simple. That's what I would say. Just keep things simple.
yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for saying yes to Ask the Drummer, Tom. I'm really,
No
really
problem, man.
grateful that you did so. And I'm gonna see you in Glasgow in 2 months' time because it's actually happening sooner. So like,
I know, I'm
can't
really looking forward to it.
yeah, it's nearly the end of May, and it was so like only 2 more months, and it's Glasgow's pop again.
Brilliant. Yeah, listen, it'll be fantastic. So thank you for having me, and thanks
Yeah.
for
Well, do you want to just sort of like invite our viewers to sort of like if they want to sort of like buy tickets to Glasgow's pop and see the Jasmine Minks? Do you want to invite them?
yeah, invite all of them. Everybody come. It'll be great.
Invite all of them.
Invite them
Yeah,
all.
hopefully. Well, it's always they always sort of like sell out tickets there because it's such an
Yeah.
amazing sort of like festival,
I don't
and
know if it's
it's
sold out already, but I know they've sold lots of tickets. I think the night we were playing, the Bluebells are playing with us.
all
Um,
right. Yeah, yeah,
we're playing with
yeah,
them.
yeah. I
So
think you're doing the Friday night. I think it was just the
yeah,
first night. Yeah.
yeah, it's the 27th, is it? Friday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So definitely
27.
Friday 27th. If there's anybody around, get to Glasgow.
That's right. Yeah. And if you're, because they normally have like a quiz night on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, do
So
they?
yeah, that's something that maybe the Jasmine Minks would like to sort like do.
Hey, listen, we're all there at a time because I've got a funny feeling we're all scooting off afterwards to different parts of Scotland.
Oh right.
I
Because
think, yeah,
yeah, because that's another part of Glasgow's pop that I really like. It's on Sunday afternoon. Douglas Stewart from BMX Bandits.
yeah.
He sort of like does the quiz,
And is
and
it a
then
music quiz? I would
it
think.
yeah, it's well, music and then films and all sort of thing. But
Right.
so there will be, you know, like people from Bell and Sebastian, so like in one team, and then because they were the winners last year.
Right.
Yeah.
I love Bells and Boston.
So even as we speak, they were there as a team, and then all these other bands, and the Orchids.
That'd be great. You know, I'd love to. I'll have a word with everybody and see if they fancy staying and doing it. Because we used to years ago, we used to have a football team called the Dynamo Minks. We used to play football against other bands.
Oh right,
So
yeah,
maybe we
maybe
could have a
this,
little quiz team as well and do the same thing.
yeah. Well, this would be something that would be really really good to sort of like see the Jasmine Minks in the quiz, and maybe so hopefully you'll win. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, well, thank you so much, Tom, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the band again. This in July. So well, I normally say enjoy the rest of the weekend, but it's Monday today, so have a great
Paella
week.
night.
Yeah, have a great
So
weekend.
Paella night. We also have Paella at the weekend, and now
But
the fact
Eleanor,
it's on
that's right.
Sunday. Yeah, we're normally having it on a Saturday, but now it's a bank holiday and the sun's come out. We're having Paella.
Wow,
Exactly.
is it
There you
like
go. Bombshell.
authentic? Is it like
Oh
authentic?
yeah, yeah.
So
Seafood Paella.
yeah, enjoy your Paella then.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thank
Take
you
care. I'll see
so
you in
much.
Glasgow.
See you in Glasgow.
See
Bye.
you
Bye.
later.
Bye. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. It was like that was so amazing. I really like Tom Reid, as you can see, and he's got a sister called Anne without an E, like me. So like, that's what I remember from Preston Pop. But anyway, so thank you all so much. I mean, we've done 2 episodes today, and I'm really happy because, as you know, I do love drummers a lot. So this not this week, but yeah, we're coming back on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, our usual slot, with the drummer of Jetstream Pony. He'll be the third drummer from Jetstream Pony that's going to be on Ask the Drummer. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. They're absolutely amazing. We've seen Tom Reid; he's so nice. So and if you so like, I have to say this: Glasgow's pop is absolutely amazing. So check it out, check it online, and then get a ticket. And Glasgow is an amazing city to sort of like visit anyway. So make it like a holiday for you, and then enjoy the festival as well. So hopefully see you there in July. But in the meantime, that's it for me. So I'll see you all on Sunday, and take care. And oh, I've got to say it again: love music, love life, Love, love, love drummers. See you all again on Sunday. Bye for now. Bye.